Because now everybody's Batman. That's what they call him, right? Prep time Batman. How the mighty have fallen. Now, you know, I will say this. I have nothing against Daigo. Daigo's inspired myself. I mean, I saw the Daigo parry too, and I was like, damn, this shit is tight. You know what I'm saying? But I was already playing fighting games before that. And, you know, pulling up, paying attention, seeing how people just can't think for themselves. And as always, let me follow this narrative or what's safe to say today. And then, you know, you see people make excuses or constantly move the goalposts. For me, none of my wins ever matter because I didn't play anybody good, or when I played them, they weren't good, but only I was good. Apparently, two things can't be true at once, whatever it is, right? Or when somebody loses, they're too old now, and blah blah blah. I'm like, if how are you simultaneously too old and also too young for something? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we see Daigo stream and play Street Fighter 6 every day, but apparently when he has to play a first to 10, he can burn out now. It doesn't make any sense to me. And before, it's like, oh, he don't ever lose first to 10s because then, you know, he's so studied up and prepared, and people are not listening with their eyes or their ears. First off, most of these people can't even speak Japanese. Two, if we're going to go by the subtitles, then let's go by them. In the subtitles of one of the interviews, Daigo literally says he just played by feel. He basically didn't even know the matchup or how to approach the matchup. And it's like, okay, so what are you doing? Documenting how many times somebody likes to Dragon Punch in this situation or whatever? No, it's just literally a better approach to the matchup. So that's what he found. A better approach to the matchup versus Akuma and Shin's Gen at the time. And it's funny because it's like, all right, if you're just going by feel, of course you're going to lose or something. But if there's something in the matchup, like I'll say this. As a Street Fighter 4 player who was a top player in the game and knew all the matchups, Ryu was no cakewalk for Akuma. If you played it wrong, of course you're going to lose. But as strong as the Vortex was, Shoto's had a much easier time of dealing with it than the whole cast. And Ryu still hit like a truck. And you could still like out footsie an Akuma player. It was not simple. So he found a way to exploit, and now I'm not saying exploit as in cheat or glitch or something like that. But I mean like, okay, instead of fighting Akuma mid-screen where the Vortex is a lot more prominent to deal with, he forced himself and put his back to the corner, and it made dealing with his options a lot more probable. And people just don't lab or think or practice or nothing. They just, everybody, most of what this shows me is mostly everybody that's playing is going off of vibes. They don't even study what they're doing or really know the game like that or the games like that. When it comes to dominance on the screen and how you're supposed to control stuff, they're not thinking deeply about any of that at all. They're just mouth breathing and saying what the next person is saying, and deeming certain people who they vibe with more as experts, and they're not even experts in the field. I mean, too bad we don't have a way to gauge this. Oh wait, yeah, that's championships. Championships are how you gauge someone's understanding, whether they know how to explain it or not. They at least know how to execute it. So I'm seeing so many other people like dance around just what it actually is and just making excuses for their narrative in their head to make themselves feel better. And they're definitely treating this way different than other exhibitions. Oh, but it's not a legacy defining blah blah blah. All right, so what is then? Because when he lost to Lupe, People were saying that that wasn't real. They were discrediting that, saying that he threw it on purpose. Well, if he threw it, isn't that a bigger blow to his own personal integrity as a player? Like, how are we? Why is that okay to just throw matches now because of whatever? If that was true, okay. If that wasn't true and he didn't throw the match, then he lost to Lupe. I didn't put him in a catch-22. He put himself in a catch-22. But now he has lost to Mena in a first to 10, and he lost to Lupe. Fuck it. It don't matter if it's the first 10 or not. You lost 2 exhibitions, one to Mena, one to Lupe Fiasco. Since, you know, exhibitions matter so much on our records, right? Oh, it don't matter? All right, so it matters or it doesn't. Like, pick which one. You can't have both. Set a standard. Quit being biased. You know, you got to look at yourself in the mirror at this point. But so many people are making it. Oh, he was 44 years old, and you know, he's the greatest. And are we saying the greatest on vibes? How he makes you feel? Because even the Evo he did, the Daigo parry, he didn't win, he wasn't the champion that year. It was KO. KO cooked everybody. I don't care what clip that you like better, more than whatever. I don't care that this dunk that happened in the NBA Finals was no. Who won the NBA Finals? The issue is that the community is picking to believe or cling on to a feeling of a moment than the actual scoreboard. The scoreboard is what matters at the end of the day, no matter what. So you got to pick which scoreboard matters. Does the online scoreboard matter? I mean, does the exhibition scoreboard matter, or does the tournament scoreboard matter? Jazz said, in the end, Mena beat the game and got to live a fantasy most could only ever imagine in their wildest dreams. Daigo, despite who he is and what he represents, accepts his role and the challenge the challenge it presents, just as he always has. Even now, he is still a player. What's stopping you? Like, you know, they're of course going to turn this into some motivational stuff. What happened to cooking people and saying what y'all really be saying to people? What happened to that? I just want to know. Like, I'm seeing all this different stuff. This one guy says, I keep thinking that this whole thing got more attention than it deserved. Mena was going to beat him either way. A or B. Daigo's 45 years old. His prime was years ago. And on top of that, he plays in a game that's very different from what he used to play. Current games reward stuff that in Street Fighter 4, the 3 or the 2 were just little details that decided a match in specific moments. Fighting games have changed a ton, and for the worst. Oh, so when Mena wins, it's fighting games have changed for the worst, and he just did throw loops and he did his electricity and blah blah blah. Because I've been seeing it. I'm actually about to pull up all these tweets and read them because they're hilarious. The double standards, man. But to fix this, there needs to be a real established order. But here we go. This is what I just read. This guy. The Daigo's, he apparently he didn't even enter the bracket because he was dropping out to focus on this match versus Mena. So he's using all his energy to playing this one exhibition and not playing in the tournament. If I did that, why are you ducking, PL? Why are you ducking? I went with Cabal. Cabal, man. Cabal is so cheap. Rio wins with Cabal. Wow. Hey. This is some great Mortal Kombat. Oh, PL, why are you still talking about stuff that happened so long ago? Why are y'all still talking about stuff that happened so long ago? Anyway, moving on. Oh, side quests. So Paragon's Jeremy He owns Paragon, so I don't even know. I said Paragon's Jeremy. Created his own FGC OS, and then it got shut down, and he shut it down within a day. It didn't even go past 2 or 3 days. That's kind of crazy. But let's see. Good old Jago, Twisted Jago, Andre. Last 2 years, people were complaining about juries level 2. The FGC is incapable of looking at small concepts and expanding them. Hence, why people are terrible. Oh, let me bring this up over here too, so good people on dang it, it won't let me pull it up. That's crazy. But yeah, the good people on YouTube, so they can see the tweets as well. I can't find it. That's crazy. It's not letting me select it. Well, y'all just missing out on reading the main tweets. But yeah, back to what the. Hold on, I gotta refresh it. What is going on with this? It took the tweets off the screen. I don't like that. I don't like that. It won't let me show my bookmarks. That's crazy. Hold on. Very odd. I gotta do this again. So you can see all the text with no problem. All right, let me get back up here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I have fixed it. Now we get to read all the excuses together. Yes. Okay, back to what he was saying. Last 2 years, people were complaining about juries level 2. FGC is incapable of looking at small concepts and expanding them. Hence why people are terrible at labbing, and this carries over to their personal lives as well. It's true. People don't want to think. They don't want to study. Labbing is just studying. If you studied just like every other equation in a fighting in a like math, you're going to come to a conclusion. You're going to come to the result that you're supposed to find. But people don't want to hear that. This guys, like, I feel very vindicated in seeing this take, seeing people complain more about Lightning Beast after that amazing first to 10 between Mena and Daigo, instead of saying, wow, Mena and Daigo were playing amazingly. That was some good Street Fighter. So if Daigo would have won, everybody would be praising and talking about how great he is and shit. But Mena wins, you hear about how Blanca's lightning ball stuff or whatever is cheap, and etc, etc, etc. Nobody says shit when Daigo was using Yun, Arcade Edition Yun, by the way, to get top 8 at Evo. It's always, wow, it's great. No, so give people their props, man. Remember, that's what. No, Mena is the greatest Street Fighter player now. Y'all act like, oh, this ain't touches somebody's legacy and stuff. Nope, but it actually does. Let's keep the same standards that we have for others. Maybe it'll break your brain. I don't know. This dude, Dr. Danny Pham's a funny guy. Daigo played so well. Couple swing matches could have been 10-8 possibly. Look at the fan fiction he's created in his mind. But that Blanca level 2 mind game is just too much. Mena's perfect parry rates, combined with spacing awareness on sweep range and reacting to respective fireball speeds was insane. I like how he actually started giving props and stuff at the end and all that. Perfect parry, fireball, drive rush, too strong. What are we doing? What are you complaining about him actually doing the strategy he's supposed to do? So if we were playing Street Fighter 4 and somebody was doing perfect FADC to get through shit, and you would praise that, or parries and stuff. What about the parry and third strike? We praise that over this stuff. This is just as difficult to do. And then, of course, Daigo was talking about, I'll be Santa Claus. Unfortunately, Daigo, neither Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny are real. So, yeah, man. But Jesus Christ is. But none of us can be that. It feels weird to see Daigo lose. I wanted Mena to win, but once the match started, when Daigo was winning, I wanted Mena to win. And when Mena was winning, I wanted Daigo to win. It was a great match. The Undertaker's winning streak in the FGC is over. It was over when he lost to Lupe. What are we talking about? So are we just ignoring matches now? Again, I don't want to hear about he threw the match, because if he threw the match, that's even worse to throw a match. He already lost. But at least it felt like Shawn Michaels instead of Brooke. Haha, that's the best example I could come up with. And shout out to Nee for actually, I know this is a side quest right here, but good on Nee for acknowledging that the rank system in Tekken is legit. Because I know my God of Destruction rank is way more legit than anybody else's God of Destruction rank back in season 1 or 2. I'm not trying to hear nothing else.